The ego has convinced us that oneness is the illusion and separation and individuality is the truth. And we are still so identified with the separated, individual, unique, autonomous, independent, and special self that we are terrified of losing it. Right. One of the devices that the ego uses, and it's a very subtle one and very powerful one, is what Freud called the dream of convenience. And I want to go back a little bit to Freud and read you what he said about this. Now again, he's only talking about sleeping dreams, but the parallels between what we do with our waking dreams is phenomenal, I think, and very, very important. All right, what a dream of convenience is, we've all had them, I think, at varying times. An example of a dream of convenience would be if you're asleep at night and a telephone rings in your room, all right, and you don't want to awaken, like it's a sound sleep or you're having a wonderful dream, what your mind will tend to do is weave the ringing telephone into your dream, so that the phone now is not being heard through your external ear, it's being heard through your dream's ear, which means you don't have to wake up to answer the phone. You can answer the phone in your dream. All right, that's a dream of convenience. I'd like to read you first what Freud said about it, because its implications are very, very important, and I think will be helpful in large part in avoiding a lot of the mistakes students make with the course, specifically with the figures of Jesus, the Holy Spirit, the meaning of healing and forgiveness. Everything I'm reading to you is from the interpretation of dreams. And remember what I've already read to you, that the wish that every dream contains is the wish to remain asleep. So that the dream of convenience is simply another expression of that. The function of the dream as a guardian of sleep becomes particularly evident when an external stimulus impinges upon the senses of a sleeper. He may wake up, or he may succeed in continuing his sleep in spite of it, in spite of the external stimulus. In the latter case, he may make use of a dream in order to get rid of the external stimulus. And here Freud gives an example. If I can succeed in appeasing my thirst in dreaming that I'm drinking, then I need not wake up in order to quench it. This, then, is a dream of convenience. So here the external stimulus is not a telephone ringing or a light going on, it's the body itself. All right. All dreams are, in a sense, dreams of convenience. They serve the purpose of prolonging sleep instead of waking up. Now, as I'm reading this, you think of our waking dreams and think of the whole purpose of our life as having the purpose of keeping us asleep. Asleep in the belief that the separation is real. So this will then kind of leap off the page at you then, when you could see the larger generalization of it. Dreams are the guardians of sleep and not its disturbers. Either the mind pays no attention at all to occasions for sensation during sleep, or it seeks for an interpretation which will make the currently active sensation into a component part of a situation which is wished for and which is consistent with sleeping. The currently active sensation is woven into a dream in order to rob it of reality. All right. Now, again, when you take Freud's comments about dreams and external stimuli and you apply them in the larger arena of our life, right? And you go back to our chart and you look at the two parts of the chart that deal with dreams, the ego's wrong-minded box, where our secret dreams are found, and then the world of separation, which has the world's dreams. Right? And remember, the ego's purpose is to keep us in the wrong-minded box by having us believe we're in the world's box. So we deny the reality of the secret dreams and instead make the world's dreams the reality. All right, now, what Freud was talking about, an external stimulus, right, we could liken to something that comes from the right mind. Right now, throughout the course, the Holy Spirit is described as being the voice for God, the voice within our dream, the voice within the split mind that reminds us of our connection with our source. Another way of characterizing the dreams and the right-minded call is that the dreams all reflect a dualistic point of view. Dualism, as I've kind of been reflecting occasionally today, dualism is when you have a subject and an object. That's the basis of what the Course refers to as the world of perception. It's the exact opposite of the world of knowledge, which is the world of heaven, which is the world of total oneness, of non-duality. So the secret dream is clearly dualistic in origin, because I believe I separated from God. There's God and there's me, two. And then these two then become at war with each other. That's the battleground. And then we project out the battleground, so now it's the battleground all around me, but it's no longer in my mind, because I don't know I have a mind. Right? And this is in contrast with the non-dualistic call of the Holy Spirit. He's the call within our split minds to come back, to go back to that choice point in our minds where we chose the ego, and now make the correct choice and choose the Holy Spirit. So it's that ongoing call that is outside of the dream. The call to awaken and be glad is the call of the atonement that says the separation never happened, which means the non-dualistic loving presence of the perfect oneness of God is perfectly intact. And not one note in heaven's song is missed. Nothing has changed. So we get this non-dualistic stimulus, this call within our mind. And our dualistic dream, our dualistic consciousness, our dualistic self desperately tries to take the stimulus and weave it into our dream. All right, so that if one looks at Jesus, for example, when he appeared on this earth 2,000 years ago, the world didn't know what to do with him because he was not of this world. Right, there was a light, there was a love, there was a resplendence in him that anybody who was in his presence would immediately have recognized had nothing to do with anything here. His very presence in the world's dream, coming from outside of the dream, was a statement that said there's a reality outside of the dream. It's the reality that you all chose against. And my presence among you is the witness to the fact that even though you chose against it, it is still here. His very presence was a direct challenge to the sleep that the dreams were attempting to protect, which left the sleeping Son of God one of two choices. He would either awaken from the dream and follow the call, but if he were to do that, then he lets go of his total allegiance to the ego. He's basically saying, I now have recognized that the choice for the ego was a mistake, for individuality, for specialness. All of this was a mistake. It has not brought me happiness or peace. It certainly is not the truth. Or the Son of God could say, I don't want to awaken from the dream. Let me instead bring the light, bring the call into the dream. Let me take this non-dualistic presence and let me incorporate it within my dualistic dream. All you have to do is read the New Testament. It has a large number of very, very beautiful and inspired passages. But overall, its message is the world of separation is real, the world of sin is real, the world of the body is real, and unfortunately, the world of specialness is very alive and very well. What the world did is that it brought that Jesus into the dream. So he now became part of the dualistic drama of sin, guilt, fear, sacrifice, and death, and therefore redemption. And that's why the opening section in chapter 3 is called Atonement Without Sacrifice. The biblical plan, both in the Old Testament and New Testament, is atonement with sacrifice. Right? And the point of that section is Jesus saying, how could I think this way? How could God think this way? There is no sacrifice because nothing has to be atoned for. You only have to awaken from the dream. And that again was Jesus' message, to awaken from the dream.